Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Sonia from EziYacht Brokerage and I'm aboard a really awesome boat. It's a South Coast 36 designed by Bruce Roberts and she was launched in 1998. Songline has done quite a bit of ocean passage making and is a really great boat for somebody who's wanting to up their sailing, possibly from coastal, maybe do longer passages in a comfortable boat. She's really seaworthy, full keel, got an awful lot of really good features, very deep set cockpit, dual headsails, both on furlers, great storage in 2 bow lockers, 2 aft lazarette lockers. She's got a sturdy stainless steel davits with a good solid high field 2.6 meter dinghy and an almost new outboard. And there are so many awesome extras that I'm going to show you today. Songlines would be really suitable boat for either a single-handed sailor or a couple wanting to go off and do some cruising. She was also sailed in the Pacific by a family with 2 young children, so having a really great layout down below allows you to have space. You've got the comfort of an aft cabin when you have a center cockpit yacht, and you also have a very good-sized V-berth bow cabin for this size of a boat, but then you've also got a very nice styled layout in the saloon. So I'm going to show you a few things that I like on deck here, and then we're going to go below. So the first thing that I actually noticed when I stepped on board the boat is it's got a very nice non-skid surface, and all of the surfaces on the foredeck are very flat, which is nice, including the walkways, so it's quite safe for children or in very rough conditions. It's a very solid, safe, seaworthy, comfortable motion on this boat because it has a full keel with the 2 headsail furlers. You could just have your staysail if it's in very heavy weathers, or you can sail with both, or just with the number 1. Up here we have both headsails are on furlers, nice touch. We've got dual bow lockers so that you can stow plenty of chain, extra rode, even an extra anchor if you wanted to. We've got dual controls up and down for the anchor winch, and there's also a remote switch in the cockpit next to the start panel. So there's really no need when you're underway or if you're in poor conditions or bad weather, you don't need to leave the cockpit. Everything can be controlled from back there. All the standing and running rigging were replaced in Sydney in 2020 by Tempo Spars. There are receipts available for all of those upgrades. The main and the Genoa were new in 2022. The staysail hasn't had that much use, so it's also in very good condition. So you're covered on all wind angles because you have a mainsail with 3 reefing points, you have 2 headsails, and then if you are off the wind even more, you have an asymmetric spinnaker. She's also got this really sturdy and solid bowsprit with a double bow roller, so you can pick up a mooring, or you have the easy facility of anchoring because you have your anchor already there sitting on the bow roller. So that's another great feature. She has bow cleats, midship cleats and aft cleats. Here you've got steps either side of the mast, here and here, and they run all the way up to the first set of spreaders. Particularly good if you need to get up there and untangle anything, or if you're just short like me and you want to be able to furl your mainsail pretty easily. It's always handy. All the lines run down through these blocks and into the cockpit. So there's nothing to do from up here. You don't need to come forward to the mast to reef, because you can actually just pop your hand up through the lid of the dodger and you can attach the sails. You can hang on to the bullhorn there. As we move aft, you'll see a really comfortable, very secure cockpit, and what makes it even more snug is that you can fully enclose it with cockpit clears that zip on and cover the entire area, or just fly screens if you're in an area where you want the breeze but you don't want any bugs. At the back of the boat you've got 2 very deep lazarette lockers, and they house extra jerry cans for fuel. Potentially fenders could go in there, mooring lines. There's also 2 cockpit lockers in the actual cockpit, so you've got lots of options for storage on a 36-foot yacht. At the very back of the boat, you then have a nice sturdy davits, and that davits holds a 2.6 metre high-field hard-bottom dinghy, and the dinghy has already had covers put on it, which is very good for protecting it against the Queensland sun. And the most recent owner has upgraded the outboard, so a 2.3 Honda 4-stroke outboard, which you can lift with one hand. It's lovely and lightweight and easy to put on and off the boat. We have a solar panel for the start battery, new 4-person life raft, EPIRB, and 3 solar panels, which make up just under 500 watts in total. We have a high-field dinghy with chaps sitting on a good sturdy davits, with pulley system to lower and raise. We've got a spare kedge anchor here with lots of road. There's also a spare chain up in the V-berth. Very nice looking barbecue and the outboard. So hopping into the cockpit, I'm dropping down into a very deep, cozy spot. It's quite, for me, it's quite low down, but I can see perfectly all the way around. And if it's raining, you can actually add clear panels, or if it's just sunny and breezy, but you want to have some protection from bugs, if you're at an anchorage, you can put fly screen, those mesh fittings that go all the way around as well. So huge bonus. Nice little wheel here. You're tucked in very nicely. You've got the controls for the main sheet just here, or head sills just here. And then you've got your plotter here, obviously your throttle here, start panel here, anchor switch here, and over here you have your 3 Raymarine MFDs for wind depth, speed. So the cockpit table really gets a lot of use, at least in my boat it does, because it's where you do your entertaining. So this cockpit really lends itself to that style of living because it is so enclosed and comfortable. You can all sit here and just relax. You can lie out in either direction on either side, and you can still quite easily get in and out to the galley or wherever else you need to get to. This is what I was talking about, the layout. So you've got the aft cabin all the way down here, but it's a lovely space. And then you have the saloon midships, the head midships, the navigation station midships, which is very practical because when you're not using it, you can put it away. We have a stereo and VHF radio there. And we have a single berth here, which has a lee cloth. So that's a very good berth when you're at sea. And you also have a double dinette. So this was a custom-made table made by the current owner, which lowers very easily and becomes a bed. You add an additional cushion on there, and you've got yourself a really nice double bed. Again, you've got opening ports 1, 2, and 3. You've also got a fan going off in the galley. There's a fan in the aft cabin, and there's a fan in the forward cabin as well. So this is the V-berth. This is the forward cabin, really cozy. What I like about this is that you don't have to climb up onto the bed. It's really easy to get in and out of. This actually is configured in its full double size, but you can actually make it smaller, or you can remove this board here so it can become a single berth and you can get in a little bit more access here. There's great storage underneath here as well. Look at the depth of those cabins there. So there's your spinnaker in there, some extra cushions, and there are actually a suite of crew saver life jackets, most of which have never been worn. I think there's 4 on board. There's another hanging locker there, and you've got lots of storage underneath as well for extra gear and equipment. And there's that little fan I was talking about. An overhead hatch, getaway escape hatch, and then the chain locker is behind those cushions. Okay. So we've got a very secure space. You've got the companionway ladder, and then you've got your sinks with hot and cold pressurized water here. This is a saltwater tap with a foot pump down here, and this is an additional hand pump for fresh water, which comes from a separate tank. So in case you ran out of your main tank, you have an auxiliary tank there. Dual sinks, little rubbish bin under here. We have crockery storage, really accessible here. You can choose whatever you want to put in there, bowls, plates, cups, odds and sods, and then you have a larger style storage down there for dry goods or crockery and foods and whatever you want. We've also got sliding cabinets up here. Moving down here, we've got the stove with a grill. Underneath is cutlery storage, very clever. We've got two cabinets underneath the sink for cleaning products. Fridge here, very efficient fridge slash freezer with a new compressor. In here we've got, I think this is utensils again, and really functional with the chopping board as your lid. Yep, that's utensils. And here we've got a magnet for your knives. Here you've got all lovely containers, storage containers that are coming with the boat, all wedged in securely there. Really, really functional. I love it. You've got space there you can look at. You can also get a breeze when you're cooking, very important. Here we've got a very secure brass monkey fridge here. You could either use it as a fridge or as a freezer. There's a lot of battery power on this boat and great solar, so I think that refrigeration is never going to be an issue. Got some chopping boards here, and then we have a number of cabinets containing a lot of spare parts, cooking utensils down here, and then we have also underfloor compartments that are, well, this one is for a transducer, and these two are empty at the moment. Cabinet into the engine bay, all your batteries are down there. You can access the engine, two compartments here, one aft and one behind the companionway ladder. Brand new or a year-old inverter in here. It's a 2000 watt inverter. More storage there for some linen or some clothing, whichever the case may be. And this is your aft cabin, even a little mirror. We've got a big wardrobe in here for your hanging locker clothing. Fly screens for all the overhead hatches. Got an overhead hatch here. And again, more access into the aft end of the engine, the shaft and the dripless seal in here. Lots of ventilation as well from hatches and opening ports in the aft cabin. I can stand all the way through here, so it's definitely good for a small person. And it's always lovely at the galley to not be completely cut off from what's happening in the cockpit, so you can just be coming on or off watch and just being able to communicate with whoever is in the cockpit. Right here, really accessible, is your circuit breakers for all your systems on board, all nicely labelled, all here. And now the head was an electric head with a macerator and holding tank, all of which exist, not the toilet but the macerator or holding tank, all of the hoses for that and the tank itself all still exist and are easily reconfigured should you wish. But the current owner did actually import a very top of the range composting toilet, which is pretty impressive, I must admit. And he has left instructions on how to use that. Got hot and cold water shower also in here, with the shower hose there. But this concludes the tour of the interior of Songline. So that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching to the end. This is Songline, and she's a South Coast 36, available for viewings in Manly. Brisbane. I think she's a fantastic boat. I think she's going to be a very popular listing. So if you are interested, get in touch and come and have a look for yourself. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.